Hi everybody. This is for Sagittarius. I'm going to sit here and just when I push the go button, we have police going like you know what down the road. State trooper, as a matter of fact. So they're hot on the trail of somebody. So let's see how that may or may not relate to Sagittarius here. Sagittarius. Hey, let's get started. Right. This is for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Rising. It's timeless. We're going to look at the past 2 weeks, where that energy is now sitting with you, or what you might be able to access in the here and now from the past 2 weeks. And then take a look at what might be coming through that could be helpful to us in the here and now to help us better equip ourselves in attaining our highest good. So I don't always get something beforehand. For a while there, it was almost every single sign. This morning I did get something. It was something about ancient Egyptian symbolism, like jackal, serpent, an ankh. And then, I guess my head kind of went towards like everything is created with a purpose. And I thought, well, all right, what about the mosquito other than being food for a bat? And there was like some kind of an affirmation sound that I got that's saying, yep, that's it. You kind of have to look at things a little bit deeper as to why things are created, even though they might be unpleasant from us. And I thought, well, pleasant or unpleasant? And the thing that kind of popped up then was our filters. When we filter, because how we see ourselves are not how others see us, and each person has their own set of filters when they look at us, and vice versa. And this was what came. So I'm thinking about that too. And then this came in: filters falter when not regularly cleaned, or blown off. And then dust ribbons. I kind of saw like ribbons of dust. I don't know if I've ever even, other than what I had just seen recently. That was a ribbon of dust. Alrighty. Okay, thanks, Sag, for stopping by. We are going to get our information directly from the original source, the original thought, and the original word. And because these can be, and I don't even know if we can really call it a word anymore. It really should be something more like it's like frequency, but oscillation. And I think oscillation, frequency, resonance is in the word. So I guess we're going to have to look at it that way, which is my point. English and all languages are very limiting. So we ask for help with the Akash. And we're asking help from all benevolent energies, entities, and beings from all dimensions to help us in this journey we're in. Previous 2 weeks, what was something or some things that will be helpful to Sagittarius? What can you tell us, please? Thank you. I don't know if that's everybody, because it'll be 3 cards for each category, right? All right, so really non-traditional card. First of all, this kind of speaks to me that this Page of Wands, I mean, you can say what you want, but this particular one, yes, it's a youthful energy. And it's just learning. There's some new stuff that came in. It was very pinpointed and precise. You can see the halo around his head. That's a notation of enlightenment. And these were things that were, physically done. That sounds really basic, but it was an enlightening experience in a physical sense. I mean, in an action sense, not necessarily even physical. And it had a significant change, a shift, a big shift came about in the last couple of weeks as a result of this encounter or encounters. And I don't think it's like one little thing. I think it's a bunch of things. I think, and it's kind of compounded. Now here we are, you know, within the last 2 weeks, we kind of now are looking back on it thinking, wow, I guess that really was a lot. It may have been scary for us. Look at, out of the 3 cards, 2 are major arcanas, and this is the moon. And I'm getting a lot of mystery with this. Maybe you didn't see it coming because there's some shadow in here. And sometimes it's shadowed. It's not that the information's not there, because it's clearly there. It's just because there was so much, you know. It's not like a meteor, but it's like a bunch of dust. And it's gonna, oh my gosh, it's a bunch of dust. Dust ribbons. It's because you can kind of see the dust right here. Off on the card right there. Information, here we are. Page of Wands. Now we have 8 of Wands. We're still processing that information, and I think that it's to declutter and get organized. A lot of the information that we did receive, a lot of the messages we received. One of the ways that we are probably, because some of the physical aspects are coming through, even though, you know, there's not like an earth card here, but it's going to bring in some new thoughts. It's going to be a way for Sagittarius to get those thoughts and words organized with all the communication that's coming in. I'm hearing about writing. Writing is going to be really important, and not just typing something in on a keyboard, but physically writing is going to be crazy important. I love myself writing things out. You definitely engage a different part of your brain when you do that. And this is, we're establishing, oh wowzers, we're establishing the Emperor. We're reconnecting. We're in that process of connecting to our Emperor. Wow, next 2 weeks. So this was the last 2 weeks. A whole bunch of stuff came in. We are in the process of organizing that. Something new is being manifested. This Emperor has got everything under control. It's kind of like if you took all these little orbs and all these little orbs and a couple of little, it's just really there's the full moon, and then there's a crescent, right? So that was the mystery. There are a couple of bits and pieces here, but look at this. This is the getting organized in the now. Taking all of this and getting organized physically, mentally, emotionally, psychiatrically, in our home, in our work, if you're working. Something about a cupboard. Ace of Cups. So this is preparing us. It's a new relationship. And it's going to be different for everybody. I feel like this is not saying it's one or the other, but it's several scenarios, whether it's a new relationship, a new appreciation for yourself, with your money. That doesn't really feel like it, but for some it could be. And maybe even our work, All right, so there's 4 aces in this deck, right? Here's the Ace of Swords. Are you going to really start? This is like profoundness. This is I'm getting really strong, profound, right at the very core, new beginning with this Ace of Wands. I can feel the fire. It's like, just before I started, I had on a pair of, my feet are on the floor, but I did have some of those flip-flop things on, and they have a rubber sole on them, and I heard, get your feet on the floor, and I'm thinking, well, my feet are on the floor, but, okay, bare feet on the hardwood floor. So right where I sit, because there's a rug in here, right where I sit, either at my computer or right here, even in the winter, bare feet to the floor. Because it can get pretty cold in here. But this connection is dynamic. It's extremely dynamic. It's like a really good, it's not a feeling of anxiety. That has a different, it's almost like setting up in a different space in your core. Wow, look at this. All three of them. And mastery. Wow. King of Swords. Whatever it is that you are on the path to achieve, mastery, it's not like you're done learning. None of us are done learning. This is huge. This is huge, Sag. This is a very, very dynamic beginning. Yeah, I think she's partnered up with, all right, because he can be pretty, this is like a really, like a power couple, all right? So this is not a, and I hate saying this, but people do have a tendency to attach gender. This is not gender specific. This is an energetic. Look up hermetics and you can understand what gender means. It is that type of gender. This is about a divine feminine, well seated in her emotions. She's not going to get nervous. She has that about her. And he has control over his thoughts and his words. So when you are that individual who embodies both of those, and if you are maybe a short-sheeted a little bit, if you will, on that, this is where this partnership is going to come into play. This is where we're asking for help, assistance, guidance, and it's not necessarily going to come from the same person or from someone that you would expect. You may have to reach out. And there has to be a no fear attitude. No fear here. None. None whatsoever. My chair is a little on the low side here, but I'm going to leave it. And I have to hike my shoulders up to get over the table. Yes, I am not a very tall individual. This is like just a regular card table, so I have to adjust the chair every time I come up to it. But anyway, and maybe that's part of it, is making those adjustments as we travel. And when we are in a certain situation, sometimes we can get information that is helpful to us at the time, and then we might have to tweak it, adjust it, maybe even switch back and forth between these tools. Like, you know, I got it earlier that some of the tools are going to be triggered by maybe you're looking up some of those Egyptian symbols. The Egyptian symbolism, I feel like, is going to be really important. Yep. And this is going to be really important too, keeping those relationships open. And, you know, the relationships that we've had from the past, because this is a card of nostalgia as well. So if this is a card of nostalgia, don't forget about the people that served you well, but also that nostalgia can get us into a little bit of bind and can you know, slow down our progress, because we have a nostalgic feel with someone who may have been a little toxic, and we kind of forget about the toxins and we only remember the good times. We got to be careful of that. And that's where embodying the king and queen together, it's this practical side, and it's this well-developed and mature emotional side. So we got the Page of Wands again. So this is definitely a reminder of maintaining that youthful, fiery energy and taking the time to process that information. That we're going to need to take that time. It's like the battle that's already won. This is like feeling like it's adding some clarity from the past, that, you know, let's not feel guilty about the decisions that we've made. Right? because none of us is perfect. And I'll give yourself some grace. I know I stumble all the time, and let's just keep that in mind. Wow. All right, so this is making a little bit more sense now, because this is two-sided here, and if we are that individual, because I don't think this is for everybody, but if this Three of Swords, this is not you, this is someone maybe felt injured by your words, and that is on them because the intent was not there from you to hurt someone or someone's. It's on them. You know, you can acknowledge it. Again, with this, the King of Swords, you know, acknowledge it, move on from it. Move on. That's why it's kind of off to the side here. It moved on. They need to process it. One of the things that, if, you know, I hurt someone's feelings and they let me know that, and that was not my intent, I will say, I'm sorry you feel that way. That was not my intent. And then go on to explain it. Now, it's up to that other individual as soon as you make that apology, and never follow your apology with a but, because you nullify it. You nullify your apology. So if you feel that an apology, because this individual misinterpreted what you said, apologize. I'm sorry you feel that way. This was my intent, and then explain that to them. And if they still get kind of wound up, you know, this is where this mastery of thoughts and words coupled with those heartfelt emotions, because, you know, we're not stones, right? We're not stones. No matter how hard people think they are, everybody's got that, you know, that soft spot. Alrighty. More for Sagittarius next 2 weeks. 2 weeks coming up from the original source, thought, and word interpreted through the Akash with the assistance of all benevolent energies, entities, and beings from all dimensions, all for our highest good. Thank you so much for Sagittarius. And that one, all right, any, nope, okay. And the order in which they were dropped, because it's different every time. All right. So we've had the Page of Wands, the Page of Wands. Are you ready? Oh my goodness. How about the Page of Swords? So I feel like this is going back over to this, and what maybe we're going to be able to be expecting from that is, do not dwell on someone else's inability to accept an apology. Plain and simple. Once you give that apology and they don't accept it, you need to move on from it as gracefully as possible. This is where you're going to have to, sometimes the wisdom in the thoughts and words is saying nothing. There's a lot of page here. A lot of page. A lot of page. And she's like a very youthful, like aquatic being. So it's like that whoever or whatever this is may try to well up some less mature emotions. She could always be, too, because in the traditional card, it's the guy with the fish in the cup, and it's, you know, imagination. So that's kind of what this is. It's not a physical manifestation. It's something trying to well up some of those less beneficial or helpful with whatever this is something that we're working on getting rid of, and maybe that would have been part of some of this going on. The overall idea is that this is going to equate to a transformation. That transformation is definitely happening. It's not something that happens instantaneously. There might be a point in time when you realize, wow, I'm really different than what I was 2 or 4 weeks ago. This is all feeding into that, and these guys need to kind of hang out over there. This is what you're trying to allow someone else to mature with, and perhaps, Sag, you were a catalyst to help that individual maybe do a little personal growth. All right. Typically I get the order beforehand, so maybe it's whatever has come out that has shifted the order of the card layout. You said it's better. It's better. It's clearer. It's a clear separation between someone else's energy, and this is that discernment on our part with the thoughts and words, and having that feminine touch to the emotions, but not getting wound up over things. Yeah, this is the transformation. We are definitely between worlds. There is going to be something, you know, and I know that the Bible says that you can be changed in the twinkling of an eye, but really what it is that this is happening, we just don't quite see it. Is that flamingo aware that it was in black and white before? It's going to probably get all the way out and go, oh my goodness, look at how colorful I am. So it's not something that is really going to be apparent. It is a transformation. It's a shift time. It's something, and this is why I'm saying the shift is starting up here. It's a bit of a mystery, but it's being revealed as we travel through this process. It's not about time. It's really more about shifting the energy that shifts our world. There's no place like home. And there's can you see it? To me it looks like an ammonite. It's like one of these guys, and that's actually what's on the back of the card. So this is a process of expansion. And it's not talking about a physical home. Yes, you may have a very comfortable home, but this is about being home within yourself, no matter where you are. Whether you travel or whether you stay at your regular address. There is no place like home. That means you. Sagittarius, you are building your house, and your house is you. It's not that physical body. Not just. Your physical body is part of your being here, but your essence is the manifestation. So it's like the house is your physical body, but the essence that gives the home life, that's Sagittarius. And you know what? These are coming up a lot, these two. To the sea. So it's like this, and when you're all the way through, you're traveling, but it's kind of like they need to be like integrated. Because this is in the water, this is in the air. So this, to me, goes back to the Queen of Cups and the King of Swords. See, she's well seated. She's very comfortable. She's got her compass. She knows she's protected. Check this out. I don't know if you could see that, but there's a little, yeah, I can kind of see it now. The little face right here. We are so frickin' protected, Sag. This is awesome. Very, very cool. All right, so this is going to hopefully give us a little more, okay, childlike. Childlike. And you know what? That fits very well with the Six of Pentacles, because that is very childlike. It's that, you know, when I think back, people talk about they had a tree house or they had a swing. We didn't have any of that when I was a kid. We had a trailer on a very large piece of land in the middle of literally nowhere. And our trees were our toys, our playground. And we used to climb to the top of saplings and just swing, not between them, but just kind of, you know, bend and bow and use it as like a catapult for ourselves. But that was the child side. That was the childlike behavior. No fear. And this came up not too long ago. There's actually another one, falling apart or coming apart. Well, this is things fall apart. And this is the transformation. That's the transformation. And not getting too upset. Not getting too upset. You know, not hanging on to the nostalgia with it. Right? Yeah, staying grounded. Staying grounded. This is for us to stay grounded. This is not for us. This is because I was thinking, you know, that nostalgia card, that, you know, somebody's going to try and come in and break this, whoever this is or whatever this is over here. That's them. It's not that they feel attacked. It's that they may feel like they need to defend themselves. So it's going to be really important that if you do have any issues with anybody, that it's going to be well managed as far as, you know, not being too confrontational, not being too, because there's something going on that you can't see with whatever this scenario is. Man, this is like drama. Like, can we just kind of move that off the board? We don't want drama. I know I don't. I don't care who it is, what it is. Can't stand drama, especially if it catches me off guard. Yeah, I'll stumble for a hot minute, but I can collect myself pretty quick because it's happened so often. You just kind of have to step away sometimes. Yeah, all right. Sagittarius. Whoa, we need to act with authority. The frequency of authority reminds us that true authority is powerful, directed, and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. That's definitely how we're going to need to approach whoever is having some issues. But we can create more issues for them if we don't manage our own heart and mind and words and thoughts. We can make it work. One of my favorite words, we can exacerbate it. Compassion. We have to have authority, but also compassion. The frequency of compassion supports our ability to stand by others without judgment and be the divine mediator between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, so that unconditional love can flow from source through our heart and into the world. Here's the word with unconditional, because it's kind of a misnomer, because we always are able to maintain that unconditional aspect of a feeling or an energy or a thought only if we realize that it benefits us and all. No, martyrdom is a lie. I'm going to just throw that out there too. But this whole situation over here needs your authority with the solid King of Swords and the solid emotions of the Queen of Cups. And it's going to be an intuitive time. And I kind of feel like this one's popping out again. For that, third eye chakra, the indigo flower of life, supports our intuition and our inner knowing, our imagination and our psychic powers. So even though we might have this youthful and nostalgic, childlike, goings on, we also need to employ our intuition, because our intuition is what is going to save the day. Really? Wow. Okay. So use it. Use it with authority and compassion. That was it. I literally heard that. Not in my ears, but in my head. That was it. Thanks so much, Sagittarius. I hope this was helpful to you or to someone that you know. And please do like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment if you so desire. And good things are always afoot. Stay in touch with yourself. And I will definitely see you on the flip side. Take care. Bye.